Let's talk about the New York Knicks. The Knicks just lost to the Indiana Pacers in 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. And shout out to the Pacers for going out there and taking care of business. But this video is all about the New York Knicks here. You get to the Eastern Conference Finals. That is great. When you look at where this organization has been over the last 10 plus years, it has been a great spot. Even when they had Carmelo Anthony, they were not able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But they made a lot of moves over the last few years by trading players like Emmanuel Quickley, the same with RJ Barrett, to the Raptors to bring over OG. Very good defensive player that can finish at the rim, solid three-point shooter every now and then. You traded 5 first-round picks to bring in Mikal Bridges, which is crazy because usually when you trade 5 first-round picks, you're trying to go out there and get someone like Giannis, get someone like Kevin Durant, maybe Anthony Davis in his prime when he was with the Pelicans. You don't trade 5 first-round picks for a player like Mikal Bridges, and it's not Mikal Bridges' hate. He's a very good defensive player. He was a key piece with the Phoenix Suns. He was a key piece with the Brooklyn Nets. But you saw the Brooklyn Nets were with him as their number 1 option. When I look at Mikal Bridges, he's a very good player to have, but 5 first-round picks, you're really hurting your assets when you try to bring in someone on the caliber like Mikal Bridges. You traded Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo to bring in Cat. And I'll get more into those players, but I want to talk about 2 players in particular here. Because in Game 6, Jalen Brunson did not have a good game. And the same with Cat. 9 times out of 10, when Jalen Brunson has a bad night, they're going to lose. If Cat has a bad night, they're going to lose. And they're both one-dimensional players. They're great offensive players. But defensively, they do a lot of dumb things over and over again. And this is coming from a Jalen Brunson fan. He had a terrible moment in tonight's game. He headbutted Nembhard, and they should have called that as a foul, but they didn't. You can't have moments like that. And he did have a lot of turnovers in tonight's matchup. When I look at Jalen Brunson, a lot of people, they come out and they said he dribbles a basketball for a very long time. That's why the Knicks offense isn't on the same pace as the Boston Celtics, as the Indiana Pacers, the same with the Pistons at times. I don't blame all that on Jalen Brunson. They don't have another player that can go out there and create offense for themselves besides Cat. And he's not going to bring the basketball up the court. That's not Karl-Anthony Towns' game. When you look at Jalen Brunson, he's the only guard on this team that can consistently bring the ball up the court that's a starter. So now you're putting more stress on him. He already has to go out there and average 25 to 30 points a game every single night. And it doesn't help out the fact that Coach Tibbs doesn't run offensive packages. You look at the Indiana Pacers, they run certain plays for Tyrese Haliburton, the same with Pascal Siakam. You look at OKC, they run certain plays with SGA, the same with J-Dub. You look at Coach Eric Spoelstra with the Miami Heat. He runs certain plays with Jimmy Butler when he was on the roster. The same with Tyler Hero, the same with Bam. You don't see that with the New York Knicks. It's just a bunch of Jalen Brunson, save us, run 2-man game with Cat. That's it. Occasionally, you'll see Mikal Bridges. He'll go out there. He'll settle for a mid-range jumper, a fadeaway jumper. The same with OG. He'll be in the corner. But on a consistent basis, they always go out there. Jalen Brunson, dribble the shot clock out, create your own offense over and over again. They don't have the coach to go out there and make those adjustments. And the fact that Jalen Brunson is an offensive star, he's phenomenal. But his defense is always going to be terrible. He's never going to be a great defender. He doesn't have to be a great defender, but his lack of size shows every single game. It was a situation against the Pacers. They get a switch with Tyrese Haliburton. He just shoots over Jalen Brunson. Pascal Siakam, that's easy. Shoots over Jalen Brunson. He's a liability on the defensive end. You would think with having players like Mitchell Robinson out there, the same with Mikal Bridges, the same with OG, they'll be able to rotate and help over. But when you go against a team in the Pacers, they were a better team. They're going to find those mismatches over and over again. And Coach Tibbs, he did not make the right adjustments, in my opinion, in the Eastern Conference Finals. He just didn't. And I look at Cat. Cat will have some solid defensive moments. He'll be able to go out there and have a block or two against someone like Pascal Siakam. He'll go out there against someone like Kristaps Porzingis and defend them in the post. It's not consistent because he's not a great defender, but he will have his moments. But that's not Cat's game plan. When he has an off night on the offensive end, you have to pull him off the court. He's not going to give you good production. It's simple as that. So when your 2 best players are offensive juggernauts and when they have an off night, they can't give you anything else. And Jalen Brunson, he's not going to be this floor general like Tyrese Haliburton. He's not going to go out there and have 10 plus assists every single night. Jalen Brunson is a score first point guard. I don't have a problem with that. But he has to go out there and be the main engine to your offense over and over again. That's a problem. So you have to go out there and bring in someone else to take that pressure off of Jalen Brunson. And they can make some moves here. Just because you traded 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, you traded Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett a few years back to bring in OG, doesn't mean that you can't go out there and make more moves to your roster. You can, but you have to be careful. If this was the NBA 7 to 8 years ago, this Knicks team, they'll be great for many years. But you look at the NBA today, you don't have too many big threes. You don't have too many teams that have multiple superstars in the starting lineup. Look at the teams that you just went against. You went against the Pacers. Halliburton, very good basketball player. The same with Pascal Siakam. The starting 5 did give you problems, but the bench gave them more problems in their starting lineup at times. That's what you have to have if you're the New York Knicks. You need consistent players to come off the bench and someone that could take that pressure off of Jalen Brunson. I look at their front court. You have Mitchell Robinson. You have Cat. Mitchell Robinson is a great defensive player. He's a great hustler. He's the complete opposite of Karl-Anthony Towns, and Karl-Anthony Towns is the complete opposite of him. He's an offensive liability in terms of shooting the basketball. He's not going to go out there and hit a 3. He's not going to go out there and hit a mid-range shot. That's not his game. It doesn't have to be because he's such a great defender. He's such a great rim protector. This is the problem with Mitchell Robinson. You have to go into the offseason. Work on those free throws against the Pistons, against the Celtics. My goodness, he was terrible with those free throws. And the Pacers, I hate it, but it's smart. They will foul you. Many decades ago, when Shaquille O'Neal was playing, they called Hacker Shaq. They'll foul him because they knew, man, this man's going to go out there and get 2 points regardless. We might as well just foul him. We'll sell with the free throws. If he makes it, fine. But if he doesn't, we'll be great. Get the rebound. That was the problem with Mitchell Robinson. You have to make your free throws. And the same with Cat. In game 1, they ran into that problem down late in the fourth quarter. They couldn't hit their free throws. And I have a lot to say about game 1. But Mitchell Robinson, work on those free throws. He did have his moments against the Pacers, but he needs to be more consistent from the charity line. The rest of the roster here. OG, keep him around. The same with Mikal Bridges. Josh Hart. I like Josh Hart. He's a hustler. He'll go out there. He'll give you triple doubles. He may have 10 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists. He's that type of player. He's very weird. He's not an offensive player that you can depend on in big time moments. He'll go out there and give you very good defensive production. But the way that he went out against the Pacers, I don't know if they want to bring him back or not. And I'm not trying to blame all this on just one player. It's a group effort here. But when I look at Josh Hart, he hit a 3. Well, he shot a 3. It was terrible. He missed the entire rim. Josh Hart is not a consistent three-point shooter. He can't dribble the ball up the court on a consistent basis. He turned the ball over a lot in the last 2 games in this series against the Pacers. I look at him as a bench player. He's fine. As a starter, I don't agree with it. Keep him around, but he needs to come off the bench. And that's why Coach Tibbs, he benched him out of the starting lineup. He went with Mitchell Robinson. He went with Karl-Anthony Towns. That's the better lineup. But I look at Josh Hart. He is what it is. He is who he is at this point of his career. But you need to bring in some better bench players. And you need to bring in another coach. I look at Coach Tibbs. I know that he helped get this team to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's a great feat. A lot of coaches have never done that before in their career. Rick Carlisle is a better coach. He's won a championship before with the Dallas Mavericks. But what I said before about Coach Tibbs not running certain packages with Jalen Brunson, with Cat, not running your offense through certain players, not scheming up certain plays here, he also depends too much on his damn starters. In the regular season, that's cute to go out there and play Jalen Brunson a lot of minutes. The same with Mikal Bridges, the same with OG, Josh Hart, and Karl-Anthony Towns. That's fine. Until you go into teams that have a deeper bench. I look at the Knicks. You have Precious Achiuwa. He's not a top player in the NBA, but he can give you solid minutes. The same with DeLon Wright. They can give you solid minutes. The same with Landry Shamet. But you didn't believe in these players. In game 1, remember the game I said we're going to come back to? The New York Knicks went on a crazy run without Jalen Brunson. What does Coach Tibbs do? They had one play where it was just completely terrible. He brings in Jalen Brunson. The run stops. With 2 minutes remaining, you're up by 14 points. Aaron Nesmith, he becomes Stephen Curry. a great three-point shooter. He hit 6 threes in the fourth quarter. You lost that matchup in game 1. That's when you really blew the series. But I blame that more so on the coach not doing the players. Why are you putting Jalen Brunson back into the lineup? Yes, he's the most clutch player in the NBA. He's phenomenal. But if your bench players are having a very good day on the offensive end, which is rare for a Coach Tibbs team, you stick with them. Let them play it out. Then if they go out there, they have a couple plays that looks bad, put in Cat, put in Jalen Brunson. Let's go. Finish out this game. That's what you have them for. That's what Rick Carlisle did with the Indiana Pacers. They'll have these runs without Tyrese Halliburton. As soon as they'll go a couple plays, they don't look too well. Let's put in Tyrese Halliburton. We've seen this in the past. Look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Without Shea, they'll go on a run or two. But when it doesn't work out, let's bring back Shea. Now he's well rested. You're not messing up team chemistry here. And that's what Coach Tom did. You hurt this team in a pivotal moment in game 1. The players do have to step up. And this is coming from a person I hate to see coaches get fired in the NBA. I think too many of them get fired. I look at the situation with the Denver Nuggets. Coach Malone was a great coach. They fired him. And you can go back and listen to that video. I was very confused about that. The same with the Memphis Grizzlies. But I look at Coach Tom. You've done this before with the Chicago Bulls. He's the same head coach that let Derrick Rose still play in that matchup when only a couple seconds left. He tears his ACL. Derrick Rose is never the same. And you know what? Injuries happen. But why is he still in the game? The Minnesota Timberwolves, he was their head coach. He rolled the starters all the way to the end. He grinds you out. So when you get into the postseason, you're already tired as hell. And that's what happened against the Pacers. They're gassing them out up and down the court. And when he did play the bench players, it's unfair to them. What a lot of fans would say, just go out there to your bench, give them minutes. He doesn't give them minutes in the regular season. So when you have a lineup, they don't have chemistry. They don't know how to work with each other. When you look at the Pacers, Obi Toppin, he has chemistry with a lot of those players on the bench of the Pacers. And Jalen Brunson did go down with an ankle injury against the Los Angeles Lakers. And even at that point in time, he still did not dig deep into his bench. So you're asking a lot out of those players to come in and play together on the bench when they rarely play in the first place. That's hard to do for any player in the world, especially in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I blame this series loss on roster construction in terms of the general manager trading all those assets for top-end players. And I also look at Coach Thibodeau. If you would have played Precious Achiuwa more minutes in the regular season, the same with DeLon Wright, the same with Landry Shamet, they already have that rapport together like the Pacers. Maybe you would have been better off. And I don't want to insult the Pacers here. They deserve this win. They deserve to go to the NBA Finals. But I look at the Knicks. This was a championship year for them, for their front office. That's how they were thinking. You got past the Detroit Pistons. You got past the NBA champions of the Boston Celtics. You traded those 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. You traded Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo for Cat. You go to the Eastern Conference Finals and you lose in 6 games. That's tough. And I look at this coach. I've seen this same movie before. I know how it ends. I think that it's time to move on from him. But the overviews in this video, go out there, bring in another point guard that can help out Jalen Brunson, or a shooting guard, especially a player that can help you out on the perimeter and play very good defense. If you could bring in a 3-and-D player in the backcourt, that would be awesome for the New York Knicks. For the simple standpoint, they can help out Jalen Brunson on the defensive end. They can help him out on the offensive end. And you need a player that's not going to stand in the way of Jalen Brunson over and over again, because regardless, he's going to want to go out there. He's going to want to create his own shots. Now, we've seen Jalen Brunson in the past, before he became a superstar with the Dallas Mavericks. In that playoff series, he played very well off ball with Luka. So he has the capability to do so. It just comes down to the coach and the other point guard or even shooting guard that you want to bring in. When I look at their wings, you're set. Mikal Bridges, OG. But Cat and Mitchell Robinson, that should be your starting front court. That is a situation that you should have. So for this upcoming season, that's what you should do. They could possibly move on from Cat. I know a lot of New York Knicks fans, they may agree with that. I don't know about that decision, for the simple fact that you just brought him over, but he is making a lot of money. But I don't see this team going out there and possibly bringing in a name like Giannis or even Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is tricky. Kevin Durant's the same player that had the chance to come over to the New York Knicks with Kyrie Irving, and he said, hell no, I'm going to the Brooklyn Nets. So you guys have to keep that in mind here. But I look at their starting lineup. It's not bad. I don't agree with trading a lot of these players. Keep this core around. And that's the one thing that you could look at with the Pacers and take away. They had continuity. They got a lot of years underneath their belt together. Keep this roster around. I look at the Eastern Conference next year. We'll see what happens this offseason. Giannis, he may not be on the Bucks. That's one team that you don't have to worry about. The Boston Celtics, they'll still hang around with Jalen Brown, but Jason Tatum, he's going to miss majority, if not all of next season. They have to make trades. They're one of the worst salary cap situations in the NBA. That's a lot of money paid to that roster right now. They can't roll back that roster again next season. The Cavaliers, they'll be back. They may make some moves. The Pacers, they'll still be there. But if you bring in some more bench players and you could find a way to get a coach that could come in, maybe a coach like Coach Malone. Right now, he's up for grabs. They just fired him with the Denver Nuggets. He's doing TV specials right now for ESPN. Call him up and see if he wants to be the head coach with this roster. I imagine that he can get the most out of these players and he can focus in on defense as well. And that's the one thing that the Knicks, they didn't have against the Pacers. Their defense was not good. And Coach Thibodeau, he is known for his defense and his adjustments. And the defense did not step up, especially in transition. But shout out to the Pacers for going out there and taking care of business one more time. And we'll see what happens in the NBA Finals. I wish the Pacers a lot of luck, and the same with OKC. Those videos will be coming out in the future. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about the New York Knicks and what should they do in the future? And I'm going to say this one more time. This is not a situation with the Knicks. They're terrible. They need to rebuild. You just went to the Eastern Conference Finals. You just need to go out there and make some small adjustments. But thanks for watching my video. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.